I'm Anna Cox, and you're watching another one of our Compassion Works for All, justusfriends.org videos. And we play with the name anagram for some of these videos that actually give us an opportunity to consider a little bit more deeply what's going on in our life. This video encourages us to be that self, to realize that capacity of ourself, to be all that we can be, all that we want to be, and to transcend some of those old habits that keep us caught in a more limited view. Sometimes those habits are ones that we learned in our family, but sometimes they're deeply unconscious, self-sabotaging beliefs about ourselves that manifest in behaviors that continuously pull the rug out from under us again and again. And instead of giving us a chance to realize our full potential and our full talents, for some reason there's a part of us that is fulfilling a deeper and maybe even a darker expression of who we maybe are afraid that we really are. When we notice that there is a habit or a pattern that continuously pulls us down or sabotages us or causes us to lose jobs or relationships, then it certainly is a good thing to look at that a little more closely. One very helpful thing to do is to meditate a little bit every day, longer periods of time as we can and as we're ready. The benefit of these meditations is that it gives us space, not just during the meditation, but all the time in our life. And when we notice that something we're saying or doing may have negative consequences, then we have those few minutes, or maybe longer, to stop and consider whether we want to do that behavior or not, whether instead we want to say or do something that might have greater benefit. Now, as you may know, a lot of the work that we do is with people in prison. If you consider that people who are living their lives in prison are those who are really putting forth effort to make changes and are succeeding, it's kind of one of those reminders that if they can do it, we can do it. The other day in one of our prison meditation groups, we were talking about these habits that we all have and how oftentimes an event brings almost an instantaneous knee-jerk reaction, and we don't think. We may act with anger or violence or say something hostile or even something self-defeating or that makes us look rather foolish. When we talked about this in the prison group, and we talked about why people would do things that would be so self-sabotaging that they would end up with a life in prison, what they all said was they never learned in their family how to stop and think and to stop and consider if they wanted to react to an intense situation with a more skillful response. And as a result, pretty much all of them said, I just learned to react. That's the way everybody in my family did. If something happened, they just reacted, whether in anger or with even violence, or to reach for something that might be self-sabotaging, like drugs or alcohol. And instead of stopping and thinking something through and being skillful, choosing a reaction that would be beneficial instead of harmful, they never learned there was that space, that opportunity, that search for clarity. But for those of you who are meditating and considering what a skillful reaction it is that you might replace a reaction with, then your chances of finding success, the chances of reaching your goals, are much greater. For every event that arises, there can be a time of stillness, a time of quiet, a time of considering what your options are, a time of visualizing your best self, your most powerful self, your kindest and compassionate self, the self that can take you to your highest goals, the self that can make for you the life you want. Unlike our friends in prison, who unfortunately often reacted to some very horrible and key situation with a reaction that maybe took a life or did something very, very stupid or very, very harmful, their life is spent in prison. Their chances of living the life they wanted is gone. For sure, they can still find benefit in ways that they can help others in prison, but that certainly isn't the life that when they were little guys, they thought, gee, I want to be a prisoner when I grow up. Their life certainly is not their dreams come true. But for most all of you out there, there's time for change. You can change. You can visualize who you truly are in your highest self. You can see yourself becoming and being that self, and going from there, out of those quiet times, making decisions. Do that every day in your meditation, and then practice finding space for everything you do so that you can act skillfully. I hope you'll come back and watch more of our videos. We're here for you as much as we can be there. Thank you for watching.